some video.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over the course structure on As You Learn, and most of it I've gone over in the introductory video too. Were you all able to view that on the course page? And so no one had any technical problems with video deliveries or anything? Good. Just please let me know if you run into any issues immediately so we can address that. So the main purpose of having me kind of meet you all this way at the beginning of the semester is just to make sure that you're all on board and everybody understands how the course is structured and organized so that you can get right into the assignments, and just to give a little accountability to, I think it helps to see your faces and just to know that there are faces attached to your classmates, and that, you know, it's not, even though it's an online community, it is real people are represented here. So I think that sometimes it's easy to feel a little lost in online community or to kind of forget that the class is there. So hopefully we can touch base once in a while so that it gives you some accountability in this sort of environment. So I'm going to move this over here and hop onto our course page, and you can just kind of look with me. So under the helpful resources, of course, is our syllabus, which I hope you've all looked through carefully. And make sure that you scroll down and just keep scrolling and read everything. But on this syllabus is also the schedule that I've tried to put onto one page, so that it's like a condensed version of our course page. And I would suggest that you print that out and put it in your notebook or post it up just so you can refer to it. And it's just another way to review the assignments and the modules. So I have the date of when each module should open up, and then the due dates for all of the assignments here as well. And then under delivery is what any reading or videos that are presented. And the modules are already open on the course page, so I've gone ahead and opened everything up. But there are some videos that I haven't updated from last semester. It's pretty much the same assignments, but some of the dates and things may be slightly different. So I've changed a few things for this semester. So just so you are aware that it doesn't officially open until this date on a Tuesday. So I'll try to have everything up on a Tuesday by 5 o'clock, and usually earlier than that. But I'll send an email through the announcements and just let you know when it's officially open. So I'll say, hey, Module 3 is open today, and that means any videos have been updated. Any materials are now updated. So if you want to start like before that opening date, you can, but just be aware that the videos may not be up to date for this semester. So you could still complete the assignments, but it will just, some of the dates and stuff may not coincide for this semester. And then the due date, so everything is always due on a Tuesday by midnight, and the way that it's set up, it's due like a few minutes before midnight, so just keep in mind that it'll close at right before midnight. And if you need to submit something late, if you go on our course page, you can go to the late assignment submission area and submit your work there, and just send me a quick email, let me know if you do submit something late, just so that I can look for it there. Make sure that you do check our announcements. It should go to your email, but if for some reason you're not checking the email or don't see it, go to the announcement section on the course page. And just, especially because it's an online class, it's really good to check As You Learn often. So I'm on As You Learn every day, multiple times, logging in throughout the day. So it's good to, the more that you are on the course page, the better you're going to do in the class. There's also an extra credit area here for photographers in this class. So if you want an extra credit point, you can look at that, and that's just helpful for another class that I teach. And there is a web publishing document here that you will need by Module 4. So just know that it's there under helpful resources, It looks like this, and I'm going to try to update this document just so that the screenshots match the current version of Dreamweaver. But that's how to set up your site on the ASU server. So you'll need to do that when we get to Module 4, but just keep in mind that it's there. And then there's also a link to lynda.com tutorials. These are all optional, but if you need additional help, but do keep in mind that's a paid service. These services are free, but I believe you do need to sign up on their emails. So W3 Schools and Coda Academy are really helpful, more for coding once you start getting into Dreamweaver. And then we're going to go to Module 1. So you always want to click on the Start Here link, and that takes you to another page where I've got embedded videos, and then these blue hyperlinks will take you to assignment sheets that are correlating to the assignments. So you can click on here and review the assignment sheet. And I know that y'all have completed Module 1 already, so now we're actually on Module 2. And then you can click to access the reading and go back to Module 2 and select the assignment sheet. And then I've also have these gray bold text here for the video. So you can click directly on this gray link to watch the video.
Images.
But you can also access the video that's embedded here on this page too. So kind of a couple ways you can view some of the videos that are linked that way. And then this video is a tutorial video on how to complete homework 1. So if for some reason you can't see the embedded videos, I will include the URL so you can copy and paste that in YouTube if you don't see it showing up here. And I just want to open up Photoshop right now so you can see those images I have on my screen in Photoshop of all the different formats. So what we're doing here is just saving images in different web formats so that you can use these images later on in your final sites, or you will know how to save in different formats that are appropriate for your final project sites. So we're just starting to acquire our assets and images for the final project stage of this class. And so I don't know if you can see real well on this screen. Let me move this over a little. But I have, this is RGB, they're all RGB for web, but this is JPEG, and this is a PNG, and then this is a GIF, or GIF, however you want to say it. And if you look closely, I know it's hard to see, but sometimes you really have to look closely at some of the color areas, and some images you really just can't tell much of a difference. But if you look at this GIF image, you can start to see the banding in the colorations of the red and the yellow here. Are y'all able to see that on the screen? It may be hard. So, and then look at the PNG and the JPEG here. You see a much better color, and you don't see that banding. So subtleties in color really hold up better in the JPEG and even in the PNG. And so color really works best when you've got a lot of different variations in color in the JPEG. And then for PNG, the advantage is you can use a transparent background in a PNG and on a web page. And then our GIF advantage is you can use animation, which we're going to do in the next assignment. And then also you can use flat colors and solid colors in the PNG and in GIF versions. So that's kind of what I wanted you to see in that assignment. So you can go back to the course page. So in homework 1, we looked at the assignment sheet, and then you will actually submit that homework in discussion 2 in a discussion forum. So once you create those images, you post, so there's some examples here. And let me go to another one. So here's a good example in that you can see all 3 images next to each other and they're clearly labeled. And then you want to just comment on a student's post and say if you feel that which image you think works, which format works with this particular image best and why. And make sure you go back to the assignment sheet and answer the questions. So if we go back to homework 1. So go through these steps, post an example, and then comment also on the video and the article that's linked to the assignment sheet. So make sure you do read over these assignment sheets, and then the grading rubric is included here so you know what I'm looking for in the grading. All right, so then go back to Module 2. Also in Module 2, we've got a quiz. So our first quiz, if you click on that, there's instructions on the quiz. And I've provided the actual quiz. It's a PDF format. The reading pages to answer the questions in the quiz, and then the graphic files. So I've provided the reading so you don't have to purchase this textbook. And the graphic files are just there for you if you want to complete the tutorial on your own. So that's just kind of your independent time. You do not need to turn that in. So the only thing I'm requiring you to do is read the text and then answer the questions for the quiz so that you can understand some tools and techniques in Photoshop. And this is just to kind of get you familiar with Photoshop. And then you can answer the questions. So you don't actually have to turn in the tutorial assignment. Just do the quiz to assess your understanding of that chapter. So then I've got the quiz opened up here in Acrobat. And so this is Adobe Acrobat or Acrobat Pro DC. Once you download it and you open it up, you can click on this right arrow here and then access the editing features. So I started on this previously, but if you click on the Add Text button, you can create a text frame and then just start typing in your answer, or you can just directly type in and it'll create a text frame for you. Then you can go to File, Save As, and resave it under your name, and then submit that PDF file on the course page. You can also, let me switch to student. And you can add your submission directly and just type in your answers in the text area if you prefer to do it that way, if you don't want to edit the PDF document. So those are both those ways are acceptable for completing the quiz. So that, then you want to go ahead and read discussion 3, and you'll post your homework for the animated GIF in this discussion forum as well. So just make sure you read carefully. Sometimes you'll be posting in the discussion forum, and other times you'll just add a submission. So each module will be a little bit different in the way that you submit there. So I've gone over homework 1 that you post into discussion 2, quiz 1, and then homework 2 you will post in discussion 3, and make sure you comment on both of those too. See if there's any. And that's mainly what I wanted to go over as far as the course page. So you want to always go to start here first, and then you kind of just go down the line in order. So you want to do all the modules in order. And like I said, you're welcome to work ahead, but just make sure you're aware that some of the deliveries of the videos may not be updated until I send out that email and let you know that it's officially open. Let's see if we've got any questions here. Like this is the 3rd time I'm doing this, and every time I'm talking, I feel like I'm talking faster and wrapping up more quickly here. So do any of y'all have any questions about anything that I went over about the course in general? Y'all feel good about the class? Like you understand what's due and how to turn stuff in? Great. Let's see if I had anyone else that had a question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Maybe just about what the group project is going to be, because I'm going to be traveling internationally during this time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the group project is a professional site.
At
So
the end of
you'll
the
be working with another 2 to 3 people on that project, and you will all collectively choose a professional site to work on. And I may give you an option of someone locally who needs a site. But what you'll do is you can either, and let me go to our final project website sample so you can see some examples. So if you want to do a club on campus, you can make up, so this group made up a coffee shop, and they created all the original content and the logo. So you're going to be creating a logo in the next module, and so then you could use that logo for your professional site. So it could be a made-up site. So let me go back here. You could do something on the town of Boone. If you're a photography student, you could do a photography website. Now, you'll also be doing an e-portfolio. So if your e-portfolio is a photography site, like your own photography site, then you may want to do something different for the professional site. Or if you work with a group of photographers, maybe you're creating a new site for a commercial photography group, like a company, like making up a company that will be different from your e-portfolio. Let me go back here. Here is a site where the student actually, this is a real company. So the student, her father worked or owned this company or taught there. I don't remember which, but so then she actually kind of created a website for this existing company. So you could do that too, and actually work with the client, have them provide content for you and provide photos, and then create a site for them. And so this will all be done in Dreamweaver. Back here. So all of the group projects you will design in Dreamweaver, and then you'll actually upload it to your ASU web host. So if you go back and look at that site, it's an AppState web host. And then the pages are created in a folder within your AppState web host. So each student is allowed one website on your web host. And what we'll do is you will have an index page that looks like this, and then you're going to link your final project sites to it. So her ePortfolio is linked here. Then the professional site is linked on that index page. And then her responsive redesign is also linked here. So for your responsive mobile-friendly site, you can do that you go back and use Muse if you want to, but I'm not requiring Muse this semester since it's been discontinued, so you could use Dreamweaver for all 3. And if you do that, you can get an extra credit point for linking that third site in Dreamweaver, but I'm not requiring you to link it, so you could submit it, just the files, or you could do it in Muse. And I'll talk more about that later. But does that help you answer your question?
So the only one that will be in a group format is the professional site.
Yes. So you'll do the portfolio on your own, then you'll work with a group on your professional site, and then you'll do the responsive site on your own. So you'll choose to either redesign your portfolio or professional site to be responsive.
Okay.
Yeah, and so for the group site, you will work together and decide on the content. Then you're going to communicate. Oops, you're going to communicate, and I forgot to mention this, in the Google Plus community. So under helpful resources, you click on that Google Plus community. Make sure you join that if you haven't already. And what I'll do is once you form your groups, I'm going to list out your professional site groups here. And each group will have an area where you can click on it and communicate with your group that way. And that's part of your participation grade, so that I can have everything in one place and make sure all the groups are communicating. And so what you might want to do is go back to the introductions and see, who may have something in common with you that you might want to work with. you know, if you want to create like a photography website, or if there's a specific topic you're both interested in, someone, if you want to, I've had students who did like a gaming site and they all had that shared interest. So you would work together to get the, maybe have one person generate the content, one person doing the layout, and then all coming together to review it. One person could provide the logo. So you could break it up that way, but it's kind of up to you how you want to work within the group, as long as you're communicating, and I can see your communication here. So also in the Google Plus, you can go, if you have any questions, to our Not So Happy Clouds forum and post any questions, and then your peers and I can help answer. So we've got some computer science students in here, so if you're stuck on something, maybe they can help you with that, and they may be more knowledgeable with computer science end of it than I can. So post here first and see if, you know, if any of them have any suggestions, and I will review too and add my response as well. And then if you've got some resources you want to share, you can go to our Happy Clouds resources and share. Like I may try to post a site where you can find web colors for your sites. So if you find stuff like that, you can post it here and share it for the rest of the class to see. So make sure you do join this community, and it's really easy. Just click on that link on the course page. Also, the Against the Clock textbook. So make sure once you purchase that to go to the instruction sheet, and then this is linked to the Against the Clock website, so you can register your code on the back of your book and download the graphic files. So you will need those files to complete the tutorial assignments for the homework once we start with Dreamweaver. Has anyone had any trouble getting their textbook? Yes and no? What? Who's having trouble?
I think mine's ready to be picked up today.
Okay. Okay, so you've already ordered it.
Yeah, I've ordered it. I went to go get it, and they were like, sorry, we don't have it. So then.
Okay, yeah. So I apologize for the delay in that. I think it should be worked out now. So it should all be worked out this week and this coming week, so that you. Did anyone order theirs directly on the website?
I did.
And were you able to get your book?
Yeah, I just preferred the ebook, so I just got it from there.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. And just so you're aware, it works better on the tablet, so you can look back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Great. Let's see.
Mine wasn't on my book list, and so I didn't realize that I needed it until I was doing Module 1, so I'm going to pick it up today.
Okay. Yeah, there was a delay in getting it through the Verba textbook adoption system, but it should be on there now. It should be, and I just checked like yesterday, so it is listed for the course now, if you didn't see it before. But yeah, I'm glad you were able to get it. So you're really not getting into the textbook until Module 4, but you do want to go ahead and get it, just because it may take, you know, a week once you order it to come in. So make sure you do, if you haven't already, make sure that you do order it and initiate that. All right, let's see. Sarah? Are you there, Sarah?
Hi, can you hear me?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I just want to check, because I think you had a question on the survey, and I know you're not the only one, so there's probably a lot of you in the same boat. So if you don't have experience with the Adobe programs, that's not a requirement for this course. So we're starting off in Photoshop. You may, though, need to kind of familiarize yourself a little more with the program. So there's definitely no expectation for any prior knowledge of Dreamweaver, which is what we're going to be using predominantly. But you do need some knowledge is helpful in Photoshop, just because we need to generate the images in Photoshop and bring them into Dreamweaver. So if you're not familiar with that, you may want to watch some of the tutorials that were suggested back in. And also you can click on these section links to go directly to the module, so you don't have to keep scrolling down. But in module, the homework 1, I'm sorry, that was under quiz 1, there's a link to further Photoshop help that you can go to. So if you haven't worked in Photoshop, I would suggest you go to that website, and then you can learn more about Photoshop and clicking on those links, and there's screen captures. And then there's further tutorials that you can go through step by step. So we're not going to be working a whole lot in Photoshop, but mainly just to do some simple resizing and saving of images. Yes. All right, so were there any other questions? All right, good. So like I said, mainly just want to see your faces and make sure you're all feeling good about the class so far. Hey, Elena, I see you there now. Hey, see, of course, a familiar face. So I'm going to go ahead and just let y'all go now. If you don't have any more questions for me, you're welcome to sign off and leave the meeting and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll stick around if anybody has any questions for me or you want to chat about anything. I'll hang around for a little bit, but otherwise, I will see you later.
So for the file hosting,
Mm-hmm.
we just like put appstate.edu and then like our username, or how does that work?
Yeah, so when you're setting it up in Dreamweaver, you'll follow these steps to set it up, and you'll type in, it's going to look like this when you type it in. It'll be the app state URL / then the first letter of your username / and then your username.
Okay.
But when you actually want to look at the website, you're gonna replace the first letter of your last name with the tilde symbol. So it'll look like this. Can you see that?
No.
Sorry.
It's okay, don't worry.
Can you see it now?
No.
What are you seeing on the screen right now?
I'm seeing your face.
Okay.
I have the instructions from module 1 pulled up, and I was just like wondering if that was like in Dreamweaver or if it was just like we do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I went ahead and gave you the instructions, but you're not required to set it up until module 4. But if you wanted to go ahead and take a look at it, but I don't want you to get confused either, but it will make more sense once you actually see it in Dreamweaver. But can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, so when you type it in, once you set it up in Dreamweaver, then it's going to look like this. appstate.edu / and then your username.
All right.
Yeah. And so what you're going to do is you're going to keep all of your files in a root folder, and then you're going to point or establish your root directory in Dreamweaver to that folder. And then you're going to upload all the files in that folder to the ASU web host so that you'll have a copy of all your files on your desktop or your drive, and then you're going to upload them all onto the ASU server. And once it's all uploaded to the ASU server, so then you connect to the server, you upload your files to your server, and you pointed your directory in Dreamweaver to the ASU server, to your address with your username, then it'll show up. It'll be live. It'll be activated once you type this into your browser.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, I know it's
I wasn't missing
confusing before
anything.
you do it. So.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.